What is up, people, and welcome back to another episode of the Career Mode. This is episode number 129, and boy, oh boy, have I got a good episode for you guys today to watch and feast your eyes upon. Just you wait for the second leg against Man United when we travel back to Old Trafford to take on the English club in the semi-finals of the Champions League. Of course, we go there with a 2-1 aggregate lead. They do, in fact, have that away goal. If you haven't watched the last episode, and you'll have missed that game, and unfortunately I've just spoiled it for you. But if you have watched it, that's of course what happened in the last one. So we go back to Old Trafford in today's episode, only needing to draw the game 0-0, and we'll be sure of the place in the final of the Champions League. However, we know that's not going to be a possibility because, let's face it, every time I've played against Manchester United in this series, normally there is a few goals in the games, apart from the odd occasion where it ends 0-0. So it'll be the first time I travel back to England with this Inter Milan team. We, of course, were the Leeds United manager, and they are in the semi-final. They did win their first leg 2-0, so is that possibility that we could be meeting our old team in that final? Or, the other side of that, if PSG do in fact manage to overcome the 2-0 deficit that they had in the first game, then we could be playing against PSG, which were the other side that we possibly were going to join in this series. So, it's going to be an interesting final, regardless if we do in fact make it there. If we don't make it there, though, I won't be too disappointed in the team. We've done quite well to reach the semi-finals of the Champions League, in all honesty. And, you know, Man United are a good team. So if we get knocked out by them, all kudos to them because they are a very good team, especially in this series. They've been in and around the Champions League final now for a couple of years, of course, getting knocked out by Bayern Munich in the semi-finals of the last two occasions in the semi-final of the Champions League. So that must hurt a lot. So the chances are here they're going to be putting up a good fight in the later game of today's episode to try and reach that final. And yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you it. It's a very good game, let me just tell you that for sure. But guys, up until that point, we have this opening game of the episode against Palermo in the league. We are right now around about 4 games to go off the full 38, and also mathematically secure of the title, I think, at this point. So I'm not too worried about any results from here on out. Oh, no, it wasn't against Palermo, sorry, it's Empoli that we actually played against. So yeah, from this point out now, I'm not really too bothered about results in the league and stuff like that. It's just going to be sort of getting used to the team, getting the practice in ahead of that semi-final leg, and then, of course, ahead of the Champions League final. We've got the final day of the season, the Cup final, the Coppa Nazionale, and, of course, the Champions League final, if we get there, still to come. So, if we do make it to the Champions League final, it will probably be, I will do the last game of the season in, and also the Cup final in the same episode, and then the Champions League final will be its individual episode. If we don't make it there, then I'll just do both of those games in the final, and we'll do an end of season roundup. So, you know, sometimes I'm not really too bothered about whichever it goes, but hopefully we'll make that final just to make it a bit more interesting for us still to come. So, you can see we are, in fact, on top early on in this game against Empoli here, and it took 30 minutes on the clock before we did, in fact, create a very, very good chance to take the lead. Brozovic here gave the ball off to Raul Jimenez, and I really should be banging that one bottom bins. I went for a low-driven shot, got it completely wrong, and sent it sky-high over the bar. And these are the situations, guys. If I get into that final, I need to take these. You know, there's not many chances that you get one-on-one situations. And especially, yeah, I mean, you know, Empoli's not a team that will be meeting a Champions League final. But, you know, I've got to take it against these teams. And the fact that I didn't get it there and I got the shot completely wrong was just so poor from me. And 39 minutes on the clock, shot goes down the left-hand side, cuts it back on that right foot. He's got a 5-star weak foot, though, so he's very good on either foot here. Gives it off to Brozovic. And this was an unbelievable strike and deserving of firing it into that bottom corner. But it comes back off the outside of the post, and it goes out for a goal kick, unfortunately. So the captain on the day, Brozovic, almost giving us a 1-0 lead, but unfortunately not meant to be, as it did come back off the post and go out for a goal kick. Very good strike, though, have to say, indeed. And he's definitely a name I'm considering for that final if we do make it there. But at the end of the day, guys, I don't know what my team's going to be if we ever make it to that final. You know, I'm probably going to play him because I know for sure that we've still got that, obviously, cup final to go. I'm probably going to play him in the cup final. If we do make the Champions League final, then I'll probably keep hold of some of the other guys and just play him, Brozovic, in the cup final. But, of course, we're relying on us beating Manchester United later on in the episode. So 76 minutes in, Brozovic, fantastic curling effort, gives us the lead inside the second half. Now, at this point, I didn't really know what to make of the keeper because, yes, it's a decent strike from Brozovic, but at the same time, you've got to look at the keeper here. It didn't come too much pace, and it wasn't right in the corner. So this curling effort from Brozovic definitely could have been done better by the keeper. Now, if this is David De Gea in that second leg, or if this is, you know, Manuel Neuer of Bayern Munich or somebody along those lines, this is getting saved, you know. This is definitely getting saved. You know, it's not completely in the corner. Yes, it's very much in the corner, but in my opinion, the keeper should be doing a lot better with that. Don't take anything away from the strike from Brozovic, though, because it was a very good curling effort to give us the lead. But yeah, for me, the keeper got to be saving those ones at the highest level of football, and that's exactly what we're playing currently. So we took the lead here, as I mentioned, not too bothered about results in the league at this point forward, but it still would be nice to pick up a few victories here and there and possibly get over that 100-point mark. Not quite sure how close we are to that 100 points. We'll have to wait and see and in a future episode. But 88 minutes in, Empoli did in fact get their first chance. It only took right until the end of the game pretty much. Really poor sliding tackle from me, gave the ball away cheaply, and then the strike comes in, and it was a decent save from Lou in between the sticks. And from the corner, they did create another chance for themselves, 83 minutes in, of course. This corner then eventually comes into the area. It's a really poor one initially, but my clearance wasn't good at all. Tried to bring it down here with Brozovic. Doesn't get it cleared. Excuse me. It falls to an Empoli man who absolutely mugs me off there as I tried to win the ball back. No idea what happened. He just absolutely turned me like a mug. Comes down to right hand side with the ball now. It comes into the ball area. The header is won. I can't get the ball cleared, and this is a situation that I hate in FIFA when I can't seem to get the ball out of my box. And without that going completely wide, there was a possibility that it could have quite easily gone to a 1-1 situation. But thankfully, the strike was extremely poor from the Empoli man and went miles wide of that post. I think even if you put a second goal next to it, it probably wouldn't have even ended up on target. But, you know, lack of finishing, lack of composure. That's unfortunately why Empoli aren't one of the better teams in the Calcio, as in right now in the series. I mean, no disrespect, of course, if you support Empoli in real life. I asked you guys actually what you thought of Higuain making a move over to Juventus, and a few of you guys actually left comments saying that you weren't too happy with that. Of course, everybody has different opinions in football. People always think there's different stuff. So, you know, some people at the same time when they were frustrated with my sort of, I guess, the things that are relevant to me, Robin Van Persie, for example. I mean, at the time, I hated him. Now I'm not so bothered because, you know, it's down the line, and I'm sure a few years down the line to come, you know, Napoli fans may not hate Higuain in the future. So, yeah, it's one of them things in football. When people leave to rivals, it can always cause a stir in the world. But sometimes, if they want to win trophies and they want to win stuff, that's exactly what I have to do. But you can see, guys, the best game you are likely to see for the next few episodes in this series. I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but what I will say is this was one of the most enjoyable games I've ever played in FIFA. Seriously. It was competitive, it was open, both teams were phenomenal on the day, and any of them could have gone through, so you'll see the outcome of it come the 90 minutes. But of course, I don't want to spoil anything just yet, but to say that this wasn't going to be an interesting one would be an understatement. Of course, I've been to the Old Trafford in real life, actually, obviously not being a Manchester United fan. I went and had a tour around the stadium, and to give EA credit, it looks completely the same as what I can remember from when I actually went. So you can see that's how the other games happened and stuff in the Champions League. Of course, Leeds United winning by 2-0 against PSG, so PSG have to come back from a 2-0 deficit, so at least win the game by 3-0. They don't have an away goal to fall back on either, so yeah, they've got to play at the Parc des Princes and try and beat Leeds 3-0 to go through, so that's not an easy feat to do at all, of course. That Leeds United team that we built is a very strong one defensively and attacking, but that is the United team. Paulo Dybala leading the line today. Of course, they've got Sanabria, Harry Kane, and also Marcus Rashford to call upon if they did in fact need the attacking talent to come on in the second half and, you know, attack at tired legs really. But I didn't start this game off brilliantly at all. Yeah, I had the kickoff and no idea what I was doing here. I think I'd changed something on my computer. I was changing the song at the same time. And I gave the ball away cheaply, put it onto defensive at this point. I was thinking, you know what? I need to just set up defensively from the outset, get my feet in the game. And then Paulo Dybala turned me like a mug and made it 1-0. So from 3 minutes into the game, we were behind. And they also had the away goal. So as it stood at this point, we were 2-2 on aggregate. And we were going out on away goals. Something had to change. 12 minutes into the game, though, we got a corner. Naki Williams with it, gives it off to Vincenzini, whips in a cross into the area. And Dalbert, the left-back, pops up with his head to make it 1-1. At Old Trafford, only 13 minutes on the clock, and there was already 2 goals. That made it 3-2 on aggregate now, and we have an away goal. In which case, if United go on to win this 2-1, it goes to extra time and pens. So if we scored another one to make another away goal, it would be a dire situation for United. They would have to go on to actually win the game and win it comfortably. I think by 2 goals is what they have to win it. So at this point, although we didn't get off to a good start, we managed to equalise quite quickly, and that was important to do because I wanted to get the goal back quite quickly and make sure that I didn't start feeling the pressure. 17 minutes in, and Naki Williams goes down the right-hand side. Timothy Fosu-Mensah, guys, of course, formerly of Manchester United, comes to Renato Sanchez. Sanchez cuts it back, gives it off to Fosu-Mensah, and this is absolute quality. What a strike from the former Manchester United man. United 1, Inter Milan 2. Crazy, crazy strike from Fosu-Mensah. What a goal. It made it 4-2 on aggregate as well. Of course, 2 away goals now, meaning that United would have to absolutely go all guns blazing in the rest and the remainder of this game. But just take a look at this. Just take a second to appreciate how difficult it is to beat David De Gea in this game at all. Let alone to do it from the edge of the area with Timothy Fosu-Mensah. It was written in the script, guys. For Fosu-Mensah to come back to Old Trafford, the team where he made his name, and score a long-range screamer against David De Gea in the semi-finals of the Champions League, second leg. what a strike that was from the big man. And I was absolutely buzzing with that. So 21 minutes on the clock. We already had a fantastic game on our hands. But it took right until the second half before another chance came in. And to United's credit, guys, they dug deep and they really made it difficult for me to be able to try and defend. Paulo Dybala on the day was sensational. Gave it off to Luke Shaw. Shaw in the middle. Jesse Lingard, 2-2. So at this point, guys, they're back in the game. Of course, we do have 2 away goals. And we were actually 4-3 at this point, I think it was. So at this point, we were still going through. And even if United made it 3-2, we'd go through on away goals. But Stefan Jovetic, the man who I said wasn't going to play that much, then popped up with a goal himself. United 2, Inter Milan 3. It was crazy. Literally no more than a few minutes later than Man United got themselves back in the game. We then went and made it 3-2. And yeah, this game was absolutely phenomenal to play, as I mentioned. So Jovetic getting in there, firing across to David De Gea into that bottom corner. I mentioned he probably wasn't going to play for us. I threw him in because of fitness reasons at this point, and he scored and popped up with a goal. So very important that he did so. However, there was one more chance for United to get themselves something out of this one. Fantastic move. And to United's credit again, this was a quality goal. Fantastic ball over, and that is just sensational. Sanabria coming off the bench. I mentioned it before. They have a lot of attacking threat and ability, and this volley was just unbelievable. Cross comes in, first time volley, bottom corner, and there was nothing Lou could do between the sticks. To beat Lou at all is difficult. To beat one of the world's, or the world's best keeper, in my opinion, is difficult. But to do it in that style is absolutely sensational. And to United's credit, they dug deep and gave me a phenomenal game. 90th minute now, I was able to absorb most of the attacking pressure there as Inaki Williams goes close in the 90th minute. But that was the end of the game. A 5-4, aggregate victory. Crazy scenes here at Old Trafford. United not doing quite enough to go through themselves. Even if they'd have got one more goal, it would have been 5-5 on aggregate and we would have gone through on the away goal ruling. But we didn't actually need it because overall, over the 2 legs, we did in fact defeat them. But that was crazy. Honestly, guys, absolutely mental game of FIFA to play. But I'm not going to show you the outcome of the Leeds United and Paris Saint-Germain game. That will be in tomorrow's episode. If you have enjoyed, I'd appreciate a like rating, guys. As always, thank you all so much for your continued support. I'll catch you all with that video tomorrow. Adios.